Hi, welcome to my channel. This channel is against the current view of the science in general. I seem like 99% of the science is wrong, especially about the Big Bang. But being tired about telling you that the Big Bang is false and we can go to the stars, because they are close and cold. I'm a philosophy, study philosophy, so I said let's comment something else about philosophy. I know this subject. Maybe I bring some people into my channel with this. I like the subject, and I said, if you are wondering how the universe appeared, a Big Bang, this implies somehow, anyhow, how matter appeared. How? So this is my second video on Jordan Peterson, this guy.
Could you please discuss free will and Sam Harris's and others' ideas of its non-existence? Well, that's a good complicated question to kick things off. So I want to tell you a little bit about how to conceptualize free will, I think, first, because it's obvious that we don't have infinite free will. Our choices are constrained in all sorts of ways. And I think part of the reason that there's a continual discussion about free will in the philosophical literature is because just conceptualizing the issue properly is extraordinarily difficult. So
if you know, this is the way I made my video. I cut some videos like this and I commented a few minutes or maybe an entire length video. So Jordan Peterson, you see the stuff. So this is the way I made my videos about free will, this God and free will. I'm saying like a tea science, coffee science. This is a juice made by me. No sugar, no water, nothing. Only cherry, pure cherry, nothing else. So about free will, you see, it seems to you that it is not important. But if you want to think about free will, you must think about a perfect agent of the free will. But if you conceptualize a perfect person with a perfect power, the free will means power to do things, okay? So that's why if you do not think about God, you cannot conceive this. You could be tricked if you conceive the free will in the God person, perfect person. You imagine what God has. How will we apply his will in making a universe or inside himself, like before time? So, because otherwise you are going to be tricked. Even if you do not believe in God, this is going to be a perfect way in a metaphysical to entail some perfect person to think what you'll do if you have a power like Plato said, like Gyges Myth. Gyges, by the way, the myth is a myth and the religion is a religion. If you do not know, this is a myth, or I'm telling you, Gyges had a ring and he turned the ring and he became invisible by the Platon time. This was the idea. The Platon was wondering what you will do if you have this power. You break the rules, social rules. You make some things that you so listen about God, Jordan Peterson. So because I cut some pieces, so you see, okay.
And so there's a very interesting dynamic that's hard to understand between constraint and possibility. And there's a deep idea that's associated with that I read in some Jewish commentary on the biblical stories that I read a long time ago, talking about the relationship between God and man. And the idea was that God, imagine a being with the classical attributes of God: omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, all-seeing, all-knowing, and all-powerful. What does a being like that lack? And obviously the answer is nothing, right? Because by definition, those three traits provide for absence of limitation. But then that's exactly what's lacking, is limitation. And there's some strange connection between limitation and I was saying, limitation that's rule governed, as I mentioned before, and the opening up of possibility.
So this is the point. What I've started to tell you. NASA named Apollo. Apollo was a real god. It's a religion. It's not from Greek mythology. There are real temples in Turkey and Greece. This is not mythology, but this is mythology. Plato. So okay, Plato said this. The Gyges had a ring. This is a myth. This is a myth, but that's real religion. Artemis was a goddess with a temple. They go on the moon. And first time and second, that's not a myth. They have temples, okay? But this is the channel, cultural channel. Maybe you understand something. So Jesus had a ring, and he turned the ring, and he could make himself invisible, walk in houses of men or something like this. Maybe you understand that something retain your will if you do not have some power. But this is the problem. Maybe, but you have the problem, you will break some social conventions. So this is related by will. You see, but that's why you must treat a perfect agent with a perfect power, like God, to understand God has this ring. God has this ring. Why does not break the rule? He made the rules. Why make the rules? If he made the rules, they're free rules. And that's why you must treat it. If it seems to you, but if you are like hiding between this biological stuff and genetics, and you see in this video he will say they want to observe the process that you observe the will. So if you you hook the brain on some like this, and it will appear the will. But it will appear and be a chemical signal or electrical impulse. You say because it is a physical relation. This way, not the will does not exist, because there's a determinate way of chemical response and things like this. That's why. So you can exaggerate the will. This is the will. So if he has a comport, you say, I want to move this hand. Some chemical electrical impulses make my hand to move. In this manner, you can say that everything comes from this reality of from the biology part. So nothing exceeds and transcends the material. And that's how you must think about God. If you take this perfect person with will, and like this Peterson says, with absolute power and things like this, maybe to have a model, what will be to have perfect will. You see, you are understanding that God himself, if it is infinite, is not totally will. To be will. You understand? So another part from Peterson to make a break.
Here's another way of thinking about it. Like we know, for example, that people who are expert at playing the piano look ahead of where they're playing. And they're doing the same thing. They're watching the notes. They're seeing where they're going. And then they're disinhibiting the automated structures that enable them to play what they've practiced so thoroughly. They're disinhibiting those structures. And then they go automatically. And then what happens if you make a mistake is that consciousness notes the error and then unpacks the motor sequences that have been practiced. And then you re-practice them and sequence them again until they become automatic and deterministic. So there's choice in that you're reading ahead, but there's no choice in that once you've read ahead and disinhibited the actions, then they run ballistically. And then you can think about the same thing that's happening when you're driving in a car. You don't look right in front of you when you're driving a car, because whatever is right in front of you, if you're going 40 miles an hour or whatever, you've already run over. You look a quarter of a mile down the road, and that gives you the opportunity to see what's coming and to set up a sequence of increasingly automated movements that culminate in whatever it is that you're doing while you're driving.
So if you heard Peterson, okay, this is the way I make my videos, this cherry. Extraordinary juice, no water, nothing, only cherry. No sugar, only sweet, extra sweet cherries. Okay. So I studied philosophy, and I said, let's treat some problems. Schopenhauer said, you can make what you want, you cannot want what you want. You see, to exaggerate, to put a will before a will. I wish to do this, but I wish to wish to wish to. So that's why you must treat a perfect agent. So God has will. You see, if you understand, let's suppose it's beyond time. It has some religion that identify with time, with space, with universe even, God. But even in Christian it's true to say like this. The universe itself is made through the word of God. So it is God somehow, like in pantheist. But put God all above the universe. You see, it is only will. This is what it means to be liber, to be free, to be have a free will, to be only will. It is not going to be a poor perfection, poor God. To be only will, to have nothing else, no other thing inside His perfection, like inside His holiness, like to have joy, to have love, to have before time. This, you see. So, but how these are entailed? You see, at once there is a but the will entails them. The God not being temporal, being infinite in love, being infinite in infinite. The will entails them how temporal. You understand? So in this manner, you understand that they can do this on God. Is not free Himself, because they exaggerate what it means to be a will. So if you have love, it is not will. It is the second like thing from you that you have. So you are infinite in will, infinite in power, infinite in love, in joy. So the love must be will. You see, that's why. So, but when you wish it, you will tell it, or you live the love like only when you observe it, like with conscious. When God is conscious about His love, the will goes there, or you understand. So you understand now that somehow it is the infinite of infinities, but it is some order somehow. It is a person. He lives as a will. They treated God be unconscious. The conscious is superior. If you know a perfection, like Anselm says, must have all the perfections. The consciousness and rationality are okay. The universe does not come from a unconscious God, like He made it like from some chance. The universe. So in this manner, you must understand what it is inside the mind of God before the universe was made. If you watch my videos, you see Augustine says he didn't want it, something not understood by the will is beyond space time. So it can manifest in this. But how we live this love inside His person before time, you see. So now you see time itself, I believe it is only like a poor fellow in God. By transcending time does not mean that you do not have time. You can conscious time. You see this, He made this world. So if you understand that the time is beautiful, you see that God is poorer than the time itself, is poorer than the time. Does not, you see this world beautiful, having so many varieties. You believe that the one who made this, it is not more. This is what Solomon says in the Bible. Maybe only Catholics have this, like they put like apocryph, this book. So that's why you must think about God. Inside His perfection, what is the will? And He says that we do not have an infinite will, you see.
How to conceptualize free will, I think, first, because it's obvious that we don't have infinite free will.
But now I'm telling you, do we have an infinite will? God has an infinite will. If you understand, it is infinite, but has many things. So the will cannot. I will speak many videos about will. You see, like I believe the determinism itself, it is free will. So you understand that the will is not only at the beginning; it manifests itself. So in this manner you can see the rationality of God like a single monolith, and you look at the will, you look at you see a temporal, like, if you understand, you see the will, you see the love, you see in a temporal manner. In this manner, it is a model, and in the same monolith, the same unity, but you observe it in infinite facets. Let's see. But it is. You see, if you can deny the will with love, you say your will is infinite. But if you treat other infinities, I've told you the numbers are even and odd numbers, two infinities in one. You see, it is limited like a border, like a country limits another country. Does not mean that it imposes some things over it. Only that the country limits a country. It is limited and bordered by love, the will. It is limited and bordered, but being infinite like this. So you see, you can exaggerate the will to see, do you really want it to love? Do you really want it to make this? That's why you must treat in the perfection of infinities to understand that it is a way to exaggerate the will. That it had a will, it has a will, it has the wisdom to make one universe, but the will is not only, like Augustine thought, objectified making a material. So, but the material has law. Now he does not have will. So that's why you see the first video on Peterson with the games. The rules are, but you are living them, and they are giving. So in the Bible says that God is not, by Paul, Saint Paul says this. It is not like to can convince him to make something wrong. You see. So infinite will, what means infinite? This is the question. You have an infinite will, like the Gyges ring. You must do wrong things, so it is limited. You see, you can exaggerate. I do my stuff, I do my things, my things. The will makes love. The will makes you see, joy. The will makes good things, goodwill, like Nietzsche said. Happy science and goodwill. Okay, so the will, you can feel it, and it is not only like a time like this only in God. You can you see, you do not know how it looks atemporal at all that it is being atemporal and having still. You see, that's why the being is not, you cannot know the being of God. So that's why you must think about God. Man is a model, like rationality model. You can trick a man to say, like, exactly like this is my mental process. I want to move the hand, so it is some circuitry, you measure it, so that's a chemical, so you do not have will. So if you are in this world and you are moving, you are saying that if you are a material, you do not have a transcendental will or a spirit-like will, just because you are moving in this. You see, this to fundamentate like the rules and will. But there you see, God himself could be an ordered thing inside it, and to the will. You see, if not, it will be monosubstantial. It will not be rich. And God, indeed, so the infinite will, if it be an infinite will, only these facets will. We do not have anything else. Like Plato, it says that Hippias said, I know everything. You know everything, but that's all. Everything that you know. So in this manner, you see, so limits in infinity. Let's say two countries, both infinite, spatial and temporal infinite, but they are limited one another. You see, maybe two spaces, because they are bordering each other. In this manner, the will is infinite, limited, infinite. Like natural numbers even are limited by uneven. They are infinite but limited and bordered. Like this, you can see and watch this monolith, like intellect monolith, in two ways. In a rational kind, like Immanuel Kant, with categories, one, multiple, relation, unity, like Immanuel Kant, 12 categories, rational ones, and the life ones, like from will, 12 categories of life, like joy and will is one, like a mechanic. It puts the movement, it makes stuff. The will is what has the power to take love and look at it. The will, you see, it begins like a motor, inside the rationality. So you only want to will, and you put this intellect, and you look at it at a calm category. So you see, there's a way of exaggerating will, like Gyges ring. You must have this ring to do wrong things, or you see. So that's why it says, Saint Paul says that God is not. How do you say? I don't know. I don't have the word. Maybe I will remember it in my next video, because I will speak many videos about this. So you see, is like to, but not by evil. To do, he put God to make evil stuff. Why? There's no reason for it. There is no pleasure. There's pleasure, real stuff, in the way the world works, in the real stuff. So that's why it is not inside him. Like do some wrong inside you. You see, like this, like this. So the will, it is. So, but then he said it is a limited. Why? It must break the intellect down, or must be a perfect being to. That's why you must understand, and then to go in man, to understand, because you can like a perfect being, even you suppose that it is infinite, with infinite possibilities and properties, and to have an absolute power to make 1, 2, 3 universe. You can lie in this perfect manner that God is not free inside him, like somehow, if you do not understand like this relation inside what is the perfect mind.
We decide what sort of reality that we want to bring into being. And so we encounter potential like God did at the beginning of time when he made order out of chaos. Chaos is this chaotic potential. We confront chaotic potential with our consciousness, and we cast that into reality. And that, now then you think, well, is that really the case? Well, that's hard to say, because there are limits to our knowledge about consciousness and about reality. But if you treat yourself like you're a free moral agent with choice, and that you can determine the course of your life, then you seem to get along better with yourself, and to be less anxious, and to be more productive. And if you treat other people like that they're free agents that are making voluntary choices about how reality is going to come into being, and you reward them when they do it properly, and you punish them or otherwise discipline them when they do it badly, then your relationships with them seem to work. And then if we predicate our society on the presupposition that each individual human being is capable of doing just that, then we seem to have extremely functional societies. And this is something that Sam Harris has been taken to task for many times, is if you dispense with the idea of free will, how is it you organize your relationship to yourself, your interactions with your family, and your relationships with the broader social community? It's a very complicated issue.
So then if you reach inside a universe that's constrained by some rules, you see, you pull this and you watch the beauty of this color. I wish the will was in the beginning, or it is a temporal manifestation. You see, all this is will. I did not wish it at the beginning, to wish it, to wish and to wish to. So, but it is beautiful. You see, there's effects of will. The will brought the beautiful of this color in a pure manner. Kant asked himself, have the pure colors have beauty in them. So in this, okay. So let this video only. It is enough. You understand, by Gyges and Sam Peterson. He will say about mechanicist and determinist. So I will speak about this. You see, some guys will say, I'm very comfortable to do what I do. Why to do something else? And you'll see that it is determined, but you see how the will is. So you see, you see that it is determined, but and he will believe to be determined if you change what he does, because he is very happy with what he does. So the determinist, I'm saying, like, is a part of free will. So goodbye, God bless. I make many videos about free will, and I study philosophy. Okay, so I mainly wanted to tell you that Big Bang is false, but I study philosophy, so I said maybe I bring some people into my channel with this facet, by analyzing some aspect of philosophy. So about liberty, I will tell you about free will and power, about consciousness, about many subjects, about categories, about. But I will make a rich channel. Like I have music, philosophy, culture. So, but I only wanted to tell you that we can go to the stars. The stars are close and cold, and small, and our galaxy is a sphere surrounded by matter, and we cannot see the universe. Goodbye, God bless. This is about free will.